give us the name of your most authoritative collection of hadiths. I know that unlike the Sunni, where they say Bukhari is flawless, but the most authoritative collection of narrations for the Shia, what is it called?
That would be Al-Kafi, Al-Sharif.
What year was it compiled?
300 something, 300 to
Yeah, that
400.
300
So
years after the Hijrah, right?
yeah, right,
So let's place the Hijrah around 622 AD, which is that's
right,
today. So that means you just said, and everyone heard you. So your most authoritative collection of narrations comes from the 10th century, 900s.
Well, what
And you
what
don't have a
exactly?
problem with that? Here you're telling me your understanding of this document called the Quran comes from a collection that's written 300 years after the supposed migration of Muhammad to Medina. But even that migration, the date is dependent on these sources that are centuries removed. So, what sources do you have from the lifetime of your prophet that you can document is from his lifetime that I can look to and trust for its historicity? Because if
Okay,
that
okay.
comes 2 years later, ain't going to help me.
I understand. I
What's
understand.
up, Salim?
I'll answer that. So the Prophet, he said that he left behind two weighty things.
How do you know he said that?
This
So
is
you're
this is known as a mutawatir hadith. There are more than 100 chains.
okay, friend, before I'm not trying to cut you off.
Yeah,
This mutawatir chain,
yeah,
you just begged the question. You didn't answer my question. So let's cut
yeah.
to the chase. You're now quoting to me a source that comes 300 years later, where it's multiply attested 300 years later. What I'm asking is, show me from the reported time of your prophet that he said this, not from a document or documents where you have multiple people coming centuries later telling you this is what they heard, the generation before them and the generation before them, generation. What evidence do you have from the 7th century your prophet said this?
Well, the hadiths that are narrated in Al-Kafi don't all go are not they don't all go back to the Prophet. They go back to the Imams. The majority of the hadiths are from our Imams, and the Imams are direct descendants from the Prophet.
Can you
Everything
prove
they
that?
say, it's from
Here, see
prove
again,
what?
you keep begging the question. Prove to me that these imams are the descendants of Ali by first showing me that Ali existed in the 7th century and married Fatima, not from later sources, but from the first century Hijri. I'm still waiting for this. You keep begging the question.
We also have another concept of hadith. I actually wanted to tell you while we were speaking about Al-Kafi. A lot of some of our hadith, I don't know about a lot, but I know there is a hadith that are verbally transmitted, orally transmitted. For example, a man says, I heard from my father, who heard from his father, who heard from his father, who heard from his cousin.
We have those like names in that chain.
That was their names are in there in chains.
Where do you find their names?
Where do you find their names?
Yeah, how do you know X said to Y, who said to Z? Where did you get that?
Because it's all orally transmitted. For example, let's start off with the first chain transmitter. The first,
where do you
all the way
get
on the
that
top.
First chain? How do you know if it's oral? How do you know X? Well, you're not, because I want to know the list of names. Where did you find it? You mean it's floating in space somewhere?
No, so every hadith comes with a sanad.
Yes, sanad, I know.
Yeah,
and that sanad is written where? That's what I'm trying to get him to say. It's written in that document again that comes 300 years later that you take for granted is authentic. See, you guys see. Okay.
No, so we have scholars that examine the names written there.
Examine, and the names are where? Where they examine? Where do they find these names?
They are also orally transmitted.
Okay. How do you know it's orally transmitted? Who told you?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
How do you know the Bible is? How do you know the Bible is compiled correctly? How do you know it's not corrupted by Catholic Church?
Unlike you guys, we have copies of the biblical books, the New Testament, that are from the start of the 2nd century. And we have the writings of the individuals themselves who were disciples of the apostles, not sources that come 300 to 400 years. Don't change the subject. Now come back to you. See, nice trick. You're trying to change the subject. Come back to your issue. Where do you get that list of names? You get it in that document. That's what I'm trying to get at. Everything you're telling me about the transmitters is coming from a document that's written hundreds of years later. You're not giving me a document that's within the lifetime of Muhammad. Do you have such a document that's from the lifetime of Muhammad? If you don't, let's now talk about the Quran, because we're not going to accept your hadiths, just like you don't accept all of the Sunni hadiths. So let's at least focus on what the Quran says. Let's not bring outside sources, because at least you and the Sunnis agree regarding the Quran. So let's talk about the Quran. Go to chapter 9, verse 29, if Hussein wants to read it.
9:29. Okay, I'll
Yeah.
get it. They fight those who do not believe in Allah and the last day, nor comply with what Allah and His Messenger have forbidden, nor embrace the religion of truth from among those who were given the scripture, until they pay the tax willingly, submitting fully, humbly.
Okay, now, according to this passage, why are the Muslims commanded to fight the people of the book? The verse itself. What does the verse say? The reason is?
Because they went against Allah and His Messenger.
How did they go against Allah and His Messenger? What does the verse say?
They didn't believe in them.
Thank you. I respect that. If right now your leader, that the Shia all agree, can lead them to battle, says, go and fight the Jews and Christians because of their perverse beliefs, would you join them, and would you be okay with it?
Yeah, I would.
Okay, thank you. Now, you're honest, and I respect that. Now, when you attack me, then you take my women folk captive, even married ones. Do you agree, per chapter 4, verse 24 of the Quran, Surah An-Nisa, that means you can then take my women folk, whether it's my mother or my wife or my daughter, and have sex with them, because now they're your property, according to chapter 4, verse 24.
That's
yeah.
Say it. Wait. Yeah, what? Say it.
Yeah, I believe we can take right-hand possessions.
Good. See, now I respect you, because you're not ashamed. You just admit in front of everyone that if your infallible Imam says, go fight the Jews and Christians because of their belief, not that they attacked you, because of their belief, you would do it, and then you would take my wife or my mother or daughter, and you can have sex with them because you can have right-hand possessions. And you see why we despise your religion?
Okay, but the same thing is in the Bible. What's your point?
Our Bible's corrupt, right? Why are you worried about
No, I didn't say it's corrupt. I asked you if you believe, if you want to
it's-
apply your logic to
In
this.
fact, no. Actually, no. My Bible does not allow anyone to take
Okay.
a married woman and
So-
rape her. Do you want me to answer you? Deuteronomy 21, 10 to 14 shows your Quran pales in comparison, because in Deuteronomy 21, 10 to 14, a revelation given 2,200 years before Muhammad, it says, when you are fighting and there's a captive woman, you are to marry her. You don't take her and rape her and then sell her off. You give her the status of a wife, and if you divorce her, you let her go. You cannot sell her. This command was given 2,200 years before your Quran, showing this command is much more morally superior to your Quran. So keep my Bible out of it. Deal with your past.
Are you going to allow me to refer back to the Hadith, or are we still putting the...
What Hadith? The one that comes, the Hadith.
What?
If I give you Bukhari, can I give you Bukhari?
Well, I want to
give you
refer
something
back
Abu
to
Dawud?
my... Okay, listen. You brought me up a Quran verse, and I want to use what's hujjah, what's an authority over me, to answer your question about this
What's
Quranic
authority
verse.
over me is a Sunni Hadith, like Sunan Abu Dawud 2150, that tells me that this ayah was given at the Battle of Autas. Does the Shia Hadith agree?
I don't know about the specific battle, but I do know when it comes to the fiqh and the rulings about right-hand possessions, it's about the woman's consent.
Where does it say in the Quran the woman has to consent when you own her?
I told you it's the fiqh ruling behind it.
Can you? I would love to see, even though I don't accept your Shia tradition, I want you to show me a Shia tradition on chapter 4, verse 24, that says the woman you've taken captive, you must get her consent to have sex with her.
Yeah.
Because, show it to me. Give it to me. Read
This
it to me.
falls... I don't have the exact source, but I can
No,
tell you what
I
I've
don't
heard
want
from
your
a
opinion.
knowledgeable person.
Well, give
It's
me,
not an opinion.
give me, I don't care for your opinion. Give me
So what's your point of
Khomeini
debating me?
or
There's no point
Kafi.
of this.
Well, let me tell you what's
Khomeini
point.
or Kafi? What happens if I throw away
Give me
Khomeini or
whoever
Kafi?
you want to give me, telling me, and I want you to read it, that chapter 4, verse 24 was revealed and for this occasion. And if you do take a woman captive who's married, get her consent, because no woman in her right mind would consent. Show me that. Give me your sources.
Do you know what? I know you're familiar with Mutah, right? Temporary marriage.
Oh, that's even worse. I hope you didn't. You shouldn't have brought it up.
How's
man.
that even worse?
That was my next one.
The point is, this whole concubinage thing, it's the basis is Mutah.
This
You
is
marry
not
her.
concubinage.
You don't-
This is
Bro, what are you talking about?
captives. This is
Captives, yeah,
captive.
yeah. You marry them using
Sure.
Mutah.
They're your
And I-
possession. No, Mutah is temporary marriage. Don't confuse the two.
Okay. Check what I put in chat. Mutah.com.
Yeah, I know what Mutah is.
Mutah in the Bible. Okay.
Okay, stop
This whole thing
misquoting
you're
my Bible.
arguing.
I'm going to embarrass you. Give me the verses. I'm going to embarrass you. There is no Mutah in the Bible. Exodus 21, 7, 11. When you misquote my Bible, I'm going to end up embarrassing you.
No, I'm not misquoting. I'm asking you. All right, whatever.
Okay, come back to the issue. Don't change it to the Bible again and run. I'll refute all your distortions of scripture. Stick with it. Since you mentioned Mutah, is Mutah still binding on the Shia, unlike the Sunnis who say it's abrogated?
What do you mean binding on the Shia until?
As a Shia, do you agree that you still can enjoy Mutah, even though the Sunnis say it's abrogated and it's zina?
Okay, I believe we can still practice it depending on the intent to marry in the future.
No, that's Misyar. That's Sunni tradition.
That's not Misyar. That's not Sunni tradition either. Misyar is.
Can you show me? Okay, I'm going to show me your Shia hadith that say that Mutah can only be done with the intention that it's going to result in permanent marriage when the whole purpose of Mutah is temporary marriage for a period of time. Give me a Shia source. Says here's what Mutah is, and the stipulation is you're going to tell.
I don't have it at hand.
Okay, so go find it now where it says. Go find it now where it says a condition for Mutah for the Shia is, though it's temporary marriage, your intention is to try to make it permanent. Even though Mutah itself is temporary marriage. That's the whole point of Mutah.
Okay, then it's my own opinion about it. What's the issue?
Okay, so thank you for being honest. And again, you can have your opinion, but you're not the one who defines what Shia Islam is. So